Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. This is the July 13th, 2016 meeting of the Lowell Conservation Commission. Moving on to tonight's agenda. The first item is a request for determination of applicability, continued from prior meetings. Bierra Realty Trust, concerning project location is 26 Andover Street, and it's to construct a deck adjacent to the Concord River and within the 100-foot buffer zone. All right, so we have this closed today, I understand. I just saw a copy of the deed.
The closing was today.
It was recorded at the Registry of Deeds, so it's now your property?
Correct.
Okay, or, now procedurally, we can proceed on this, so.
Okay.
Okay. We did get an opinion back from the law department that I asked, and they didn't really answer the question that I asked, but it's kind of moot now because this is, that was largely on the purchase and sale agreement and
Sure.
not on the deed. So just to, and in case anyone happened to read it and had any questions on it, so. All right, so we need to discuss the project because we didn't really do anything with respect to this. This is you're rebuilding the deck in the same footprint?
No, a little bit smaller. The original footprint was 51 by 26.
That's right.
The new construction, which has been approved by the Building Commission, Sean Shanahan and Inspector Braga, the new deck will be 51 by 20. So it'll be 6 feet shorter.
All right, so we had discussed it, preliminarily, because we didn't really discuss it in depth, but it was one of the items that we said, you know, you may want to address this in advance, and that was how the fire department, since you weren't going to be building stairway there, has the fire department issued any sort of opinion or?
No, Mr. Shanahan has addressed, well, given his opinion. Because there are 2 other egresses, it's not necessary to have a staircase outside of that deck.
Okay, so that's a non-issue then?
Correct.
Okay, all right. So we're all set with that? Okay, all right. I don't really have any other questions, so I'm going to, Commissioner Varnum? No. Okay, Commissioner Beardron? No question. Commissioner Toner? Okay. Anything else from the city, Christine? No. No? Okay. Since this is here for an RDA, if anyone would like to be heard regarding this request for determination of applicability, I'm not going to call it 3 times. So you're here for another project, so the chair's hearing none, so there's no one here to speak regarding this. So do I have a...
I'll make a motion to issue a -3 determination.
Okay. Do I have a second? By Commissioner Varnum, motion by Commissioner Beardron. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. All right. -3 is a good thing.
Yeah.
That means you can proceed with your project. It's
much appreciated.
right.
Thank you.
Okay. I mean, we can't control this because you own the property, but I would.
Greenway.
The Greenway, yeah. And it's after the vote, and this is not me as the chair of the Conservation Commission speaking. This is me as a concerned citizen of the city of Lowell speaking. The Greenway has been a project
I don't oppose to anything being done
for
on my property.
decades. And
If anything, it's going to benefit the tenant there. So.
yeah, I think it'll even benefit your property
Yeah,
personally, because it'll give some use to it, right?
I don't oppose any construction.
Yeah,
over
so
there.
I just implore you to keep an open mind. You may or may not at some point in time get contacted by the city or by a Jane Calvin, who is the chair of, or the director of Parks and Conservation Trust. Okay, and this is something that's near and dear to them. It's something that's near and dear to the city. It's near and dear to me too, but again, it's just as a person, you know, as a personal matter. So
No, I agree. I grew up in City of Lowell. I appreciate it,
Yeah.
what it's done for me as a child.
It's a pretty cool project.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Have a great night.
Thanks.
Okay, moving on to tonight's second item is a request for determination of applicability. The project location is 20 Heritage Drive. This had been previously mentioned, but it's here for the first time, and it's on the RDA. It's a demolition repair of an existing deck within the 100-foot buffer zone and land subject to flooding. A condition of an emergency certificate, which was ratified on May 11th of 2016. From what I understand, there's no one here tonight on this, but the scope of this project has also extensively changed. Originally, under the emergency order, the applicant was going to replace footings and 4x4 or 6x6 supports that had supported the deck. If you've seen this deck is like the mother of all decks. It's 2 stories. It's wraps around 2 parts of the house. It's huge. And there's actually an enclosed living space on the second. An enclosed living space on the second part of the deck. Unfortunately for the new owners, the city engineer or building inspector has indicated that just merely replacing the supports may not be sufficient. And so I guess their design parameters have changed, and they're now looking to make and extend the house basically, not outside the footprint of the existing deck, but keeping, from what I understand, keeping the same footprint. We don't actually have any detailed plans about that, just building architectural plans. But they're going to enclose the whole thing with a foundation. So based on that, they may or may not be able to proceed on a request for determination of applicability, but what I had mentioned to Christine to convey to the owner and the engineer was that their requirements now for the RDA are essentially going to be what they'd need for an NOI anyway. So they may want to consider filing one.
Yeah.
They need engineered plans now. They have to show us the footprint. It's what they had given us previously was basically a mortgage plot plan with some penciled in measurements on it, and that's no longer going to be sufficient given the scope of the change. They're not here tonight. I had asked Christine to convey that back to the owner and the engineer that they're going to need that to go forward. They may withdraw this, file an NOI, they may proceed under the RDA, but they're still going to need some more detailed information that they haven't furnished us with yet, so.
Did we make a motion to continue?
We haven't, well, we did open it, but, yeah, so just, did they say they could be back for the 27th? So, all right, so do I have a motion to continue to the 27th?
I'll make a motion to continue to the 27th.
All right.
Second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Tone, a motion by Commissioner Beardron. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. And our last regularly scheduled item on the agenda is a request for determination of applicability. Lacerda Masonry, project location is 76 Magnolia Street, and this filing that we're seeing for the first time is a result of an enforcement order that was ratified on February 17th of 2016. So are you here for this project? Okay. So this is the first time we're seeing this as part of an RDA. Sir, if you could identify yourself for the record.
Excuse me?
What's your name, sir?
Jose Ribeiro. I'm represent Fabio Lacerda, the
Okay.
owner.
And in what capacity are you representing him?
He was unable to show today,
Yeah.
but we work together.
Okay. Are you an employee or?
Yes, on the house, especially on that location.
Okay. You're not a homeowner. You don't own the property.
I'm not a part of the ownership on the house,
Yeah.
but we have like agreements separately. So we own together.
So you're a part owner.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right. So I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
One is apparently in the siltation barrier that was ordered to be installed, and that was put up, there was, part of that was straw wattle, and there was straw wattle at one time, but that's been removed. Why?
Well, I think that's still there. We didn't remove it.
It was with a recent site inspection, was that yesterday or today, or today? It's no longer there.
Not that I know of it. It's still there. Because on the back there, we thought our lot was going all the way down. We have a neighbor on a new lot there. They might can remove that, but we didn't
Well,
remove.
it's got to be put back.
Okay.
Okay, if apparently it's been removed, it has to be replaced before you do anything else.
Yeah, but probably it's not on our land.
Oh,
because
it is on your land.
It is?
It's the siltation barrier between the disturbed zone and the clay pit brook, and it's been removed. You can't do anything on that property until that's reestablished. You can't even so much as move a piece of equipment until that's put back.
Yeah,
We still have an
wasn't
open- we
aware- I wasn't aware about that.
Okay, we still have an open enforcement order on the property, okay? Our goal is to protect the resource, and that's the clay pit brook, okay? And the primary protection now that we ordered to be in place has been removed. That's got to be put back.
You mean there's that fence on the front of it,
Yeah.
right?
The straw wattle.
I don't know what it. If was that wood fence, the only thing we removed was the wood fence. We didn't remove anything else there.
Well, apparently the straw wattle that was there, that's the basic bottom barrier, has been removed.
Well, it wasn't removed by us.
Well, it doesn't matter who removed it, it has to be replaced. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I wasn't aware about that. So
Okay.
I still not know what that is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if someone came in the night and took it away, it has to be reestablished, okay? I'm not,
It's the one along the river, the brook, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it was there.
Yeah.
I don't know who.
There's the straw, there's the black
Tarp like.
tarp
Yeah.
itself, that's
Yeah.
still there, as
Still
far as
there.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
Okay, but along the base of it, there's a rolled
Yeah,
straw wattle.
was there. We didn't remove at all.
Well, according
We
to a
had
site,
that
according to a
always.
site inspection today, it was not there. Okay?
Oh, if they did, they move it today because it was there yesterday.
Well, it's got to be put back. That's my question is, why was it removed?
Yeah, I didn't know about it. I went there yesterday. Was everything the way we installed?
Okay.
So I don't know if
it's
someone
there,
did today.
if it's there, fine. But if it's not, it
It's
has
there.
to.
I think it's still there.
Well,
it's there.
according to a site inspection today, it was not there. So that has to be reestablished. And that, again, if it's there, fine. If it's not there, you
Okay.
can't do anything on that site until that's put back.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I
So,
mean,
it's
and I mean any,
something that I'm
you
not
can't drive a
really-
nail
Yeah.
until that's put back.
No, it's okay. I just wasn't aware about that because yesterday was there and was there all the time since we started doing
Okay,
construction.
we can go round and round. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, if it's there, fine. If it's not, it's got to be put back.
Okay. Yeah.
It's simple as that. The dumpster has to be put back on the driveway.
On the
No
top.
ifs, ands, or buts about that. You got to put it back on the driveway.
Okay.
It can't be sitting where it is now.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. So we already have all framed and everything, and then the dumpster's gonna be there for another 2 weeks only.
Doesn't matter. It's got to be put
Has to
back
be
on the
put 'em
driveway.
back. Okay,
Yep.
I'll have that order to put them back on the driveway.
Okay?
And I know that on the first, we didn't know about anything about the conservation land there, so we dumped a few trucks of dirt and what we removed.
Yeah, no, that was all part of the original.
Now, what we want to do is we want to redo the driveway. We want to do like a walkway to, and we want to build the decking on the back,
Okay,
on the outside.
is that part of this? That's not part of your request.
Well, I don't know when we can request that for the
Well, you're
outside.
going to have to amend your request for determination of applicability to do that, okay?
So how I gonna do that?
What the form?
Oh.
Yeah, what it says is remodeling interior, replace
Inter-
windows.
And new front door.
That's it.
It doesn't say
Yeah,
anything
but-
about a driveway or a walkway.
Yeah, but the inspector didn't want the staircase the way it was going out because was no landing, and was a completely old wood staircase what was rotting out. So now we want to build like a decking.
Yeah, okay, I'm not even going to consider that because it's not part of something you filed. You've got to provide us with plans to that now, and you've got to amend your filing, because you haven't requested to do any of that. You
Oh,
can't
okay.
just come in here and verbally tell us what you want to do. You have to make it a part of your filing.
Oh, okay.
You can't come in here and say, I want to do this, this, and this. You've got to make it a part of your filing so we can consider it. You know, we look at this stuff beforehand, but there's, a procedure to follow. If you want to do something, you have to file it and give people notice this is what you want to do.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
You've done none of that so far. Okay? So you have to amend your filing, provide plans for all of that work that you want to do. Okay? And let us know officially this is what you want to do.
Okay, can I
Okay.
do that now?
Huh?
I have the drawings here and everything now.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's got to be filed in the proper
Oh,
course of
okay.
procedure.
Tomorrow you can come
Yeah,
I
tomorrow,
can come,
yeah.
okay. Yeah,
during work hours and.
all right.
Or is it
So,
8:30 to
8 to 5.
8 to 5?
okay, where I go?
We're in room 51. It's down the hall from the building department.
Oh,
We have
building
your-
department,
So if
okay.
you go to the building department and ask the clerks to talk to the conservation agent, they'll show you where to go.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So the two things that I have to do is remove the dumpster and put that,
Yeah,
if they remove.
if
it,
it's been
yeah.
removed for some
If it's
reason.
there, probably it's there.
Yeah, if it's there, you're fine.
Okay.
But we have information that it was removed, so,
Okay. All right,
okay?
no problem.
Hold on. No questions at this time? No questions, no questions. Anything further from the?
No.
Okay, so for now, the dumpster goes back, check the straw wattle, make sure it's there. If it's not, you gotta replace it.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's before you do anything else.
All right.
Okay? That's even before you move the dumpster. But that's gotta be done tomorrow,
Okay.
okay?
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna call the company. They will be
Yeah.
up to them.
Right.
Maybe not tomorrow, because if you call today, they need a day to.
Well, you
maybe
can't
after
do, then
tomorrow.
you can't do any, what I'm telling you is, if it's not there, and you can't replace it tomorrow, you can't work on the site until it's replaced.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I'm telling you.
Yeah,
No work until that's replaced,
All right,
okay?
okay.
All right. Contact Christine tomorrow, or whoever's in the thing. Just when you come up the stairs, it's to the left and it's right in the corner.
Okay.
And room 51. And then they can tell you what you need to file, but that's incumbent upon you to do it. It's not for them to do it.
Okay,
You
no,
have to
that's
do it.
fine, yeah.
Okay?
All right, okay.
All right.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, so we'll continue this to the May 27th date. The enforcement order is still open, okay? You don't want to be, you want to close that out sooner than later, okay? So it's incumbent upon you to get moving here, because if we find that nothing is progressing, we'll just go right back to the enforcement order, and it gets unpleasant fast, okay?
Yeah, the enforcement order was dated February 17th,
Yeah, and we're in July.
so.
Okay,
Okay? We're 5 months later,
all right, okay,
okay?
The city will help you.
okay.
Okay.
All right, okay, so do I have a motion to continue to May 27th,
I move to continue to May 27th.
and seconded by? July 27th, thank you.
July 27th.
Motion by Commissioner Tona, seconded by Commissioner Varnum. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. All right,
All right,
Good
thank
night.
you. All set, right? Thank you.
all right, moving on to other business, we have 2 enforcement orders. The first one's that, we'll take the easier one, I suppose, first. 181 Malden Ave, fence. Why don't you tell us what, Christine?
It came to our attention that a fence with cement footings was installed over the weekend, and the entire property is in the floodplain. So the enforcement order was sent to them on Monday to come to the July 27th meeting.
Okay, all right. Have you been in, like, verbal contact with the owners, or?
I believe Judy has.
Okay, all right. So, and they've been served already?
We haven't received the certificate
With a
return
return
yet, but I'm assuming that they would have received it in the mail today.
All right. Do I have a motion to, do we have any other information on it other than that? Do we know how long a fence it was, or?
It's the entire property. I don't know the linear
All right,
square.
okay. Do I have a motion to ratify the enforcement order?
I'll move to ratify. Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Varnum, seconded by Commissioner Beardron. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the ayes have it. All right. Second one is 81 Delaware, which is right around the corner from Magnolia, the one we were dealing with tonight.
Basically in the backyard.
Yeah, okay, adjacent property? Okay, from what I understand, when you were out there, you noticed that gravel had been dumped on the site?
Yes, and then they removed the piles and then flattened a lot of it out. So the entire property is no longer grass, it's gravel. And there's a couple of cut trees down on the property as well.
Yeah. From the pictures, it looks like a driveway, or I don't know, really. I mean, there's nothing on the property other than that, so.
There's no house, it's just a vacant lot.
All right, so that enforcement order went out today?
Yes.
Okay. And you've been in verbal contact with a number that was on a sign, and the
Yes.
guy said it wasn't him, so I don't, hey, who knows? That they're sending a notice to the assessed owner, so do I have a motion to ratify and that's also in a flood, it's wholly within a floodplain, and it's right on the Clay Pit Brook too, so, bless you. Do I have a motion to ratify the enforcement order?
I move to ratify the enforcement order.
All right.
81 Delaware.
Second.
By Commissioner Toner, seconded by Commissioner Varnum. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Any other business, Christine?
Yeah, I just have a couple of housekeeping items. 26 Old Ferry was supposed to, at the last meeting, he said the work would be done by tonight. He needs more time. He's been in contact with our office, and he's expecting to be at the July 27th meeting with the work all done. And then in addition to that, I sort of wanted to ask the commission in regards to 280 Totman, to ask them to appear at the July 27th meeting. We did send out we wrote an updated memo regarding the alleged incident. The radio station did come into our office to try to seek an emergency permit to breach a beaver dam a couple of weeks back. Nothing has come of it since. There was no proof of an emergency, but we do think this matter needs to be addressed. So if everyone's comfortable with that, that's what I would like to do.
Where are we at with that? What's the last, they came to the meeting.
So there was a ratified enforcement order.
Yeah.
And on that enforcement order, said, please provide a remediation plan and put everything back. So they haven't done either of those things. Then he did come to a meeting and asked to table it until he could hire counsel. He has hired counsel
Okay.
and has been in intermittent contact with our office. But I think I'd like to say, please come to the July 27th meeting so you can talk to. Yeah, let's talk to the commission. My memo is actually a suggestion to amend the existing ratified enforcement order to sort of work with stakeholders to come up with a water remediation plan with fisheries and wildlife and other neighbors. It's just something to consider, and but I do think it's important that he comes and talks to the commission.
Hey,
Fish and Wildlife reached out to the city of Lowell.
They have been in contact with us. They have been trouble getting in contact with Merrimack Valley Radio.
Okay. Yeah, the chair's abstained from this. Okay, so we don't even need a motion though, right? We can just give Christine advice.
So you're okay with that?
Yeah, we're, as the Concom, are we okay with?
Would you be willing
But
to?
we had decided that the dam had been restored by the animals themselves.
Yeah, so I would like to amend so because of that, I recommended to the commission that we amend that enforcement order so that we don't ask him to provide a remediation plan, but maybe recommend that Merrimack Valley Radio work with Fisheries and Wildlife and other properties out there to come up with a long-term comprehensive water management plan so that the landing turtles out there are protected, but also the water doesn't continually rise to be an issue for Merrimack Valley Radio.
Wait a minute, so can I just get this timeline straight? So allegedly, the beaver dam was broke. Then the animals put it back. And then somebody came to the office for emergency certification to breach it again?
They had asked for information on how to do that, but they were not issued an emergency permit.
Okay, and it was the same,
It was the attorney for Merrimack Valley Radio
came to get an emergency certification.
to breach the beaver dam because the water levels were getting too high on the radio
So
tower.
came in for an emergency certification for something that there's an enforcement order on?
Yes.
Okay, that's all. I guess, yeah, I'm fine with having them come in just as an update. I guess where are we at? Because we do have an open enforcement order.
Right. And technically speaking, he's in violation of that enforcement order, but it's not something we want him to do. Because we don't want him to put it back to anything because the animals have taken care of that. And we don't really want him to provide a remediation plan to put the beaver dam back to the way it was because the beavers have taken care of that.
In the meantime, is there any way somebody from the city can go out and just check on that weekly to make sure there is no action out there?
Yes, we can do that. And we do know that Fisheries and Wildlife have been out there
Okay.
quite a bit since the incident.
I would just like to, before they come in, if we can't physically get out there, just be able, somebody from the city to tell us everything's good or it's been touched again.
Sure, absolutely.
All right, so Old Ferry Road, he wasn't able to complete, so, but I guess he's been in contact with, with Christine, so, and he thinks he can get it done by the next meeting, I guess, so I don't think we really need to do anything other than that. Anything else? Any other business?
No.
No, okay, just minutes. Do we have motions? We have September 9th of 2015, September 23rd of 2015, January 13th of 2016, and February 24th of 2016. A real eclectic mix there, so.
I'll move to accept the minutes. There were a couple of words that were typos, but nothing
All right.
that you couldn't figure out.
Okay, and we're just to refresh everyone's memory, we just accept these as a summary of the meeting. The official record is the tape, so. Do I have a second?
Second it.
All right, and that's on all four, correct? Okay. Any discussion on the minutes as motioned? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. All right, good. Anything else, Christine? Motion to adjourn
Make a motion to adjourn?
by Commissioner Viedren, seconded by Commissioner Toner. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Aye.
The ayes have it, and good night.